Hey, welcome everybody to season 2 of the 7 Minutes to Better Selling podcast. I'm your host, Colin Lake. We're so happy to have you here and thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
And one of the other things I did not say, Jen is also a friend. I've known Jen for 25-ish years. We met when we were 2, Jen.
Exactly.
Yes, right.
We're
But
only
anyway, I've known Jen. Say it again. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I said, because we're only 27.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. Okay, Jen. So I meet you in college. We get to know one another in college. You always had this like vibrance for life. You always had a little bit more than most people. But how do you go from like a college graduate to this wonderful entrepreneur and this author and this human potential expert? Like, how do you go from there to where you are today?
So without getting in too much detail, because it's a long journey, but my degree was in psychology and education. And as you know, during college, I was really into the fitness scene. So right after college, I became a national level fitness competitor, started my first gym, was surrounded by such incredible mentors around mindset and human potential. And it kind of just flourished from there. But I would say the key elements of how do you go from this girl that grew up in Delco that had so much dysfunction in their family to thriving at a high level is it's so much about mentorship and mindset mastery. And that's what I learned really early on is when you master your mindset, anything in life is possible. So there's a formula I share with people that I used early on in my career. And it begins with conviction, getting really clear as to what you want for your life. I knew getting out of college, I did not want a conventional life. It bored me to think of living just traditionally, to go to the same place every day, doing the same thing. Another thing I knew is I didn't want to really have somebody else be able to limit my success in my career. So with sales, that's a great thing because salespeople are able to really expand their ability to utilize their potential to maximize what they can earn, where a lot of careers you can't do that. So I knew I wanted to have a career path that allowed me to expand my potential as much as I wanted to expand it and not allow somebody else's limited beliefs about me or success to limit what I was capable of. So it began with that clarity of what that I really want and what didn't I want. And then another thing was I wanted to control my schedule. So there was clarity in that too. So the more you can get clear as to who you are, what you want, what you like and what you don't like, and be honest about it, like really honest about what you're good at, what you're not good at, the closer you get to that clarity of what's the right career path and how do I expand my potential doing that. Instead, they need to start first in thinking, what are the beliefs that I have right now that are going to limit my success? And then begin there. And then the next part of it is really living intentionally, consistency. Every day, waking up, designing your day to be your best version self, and being consistent in all your actions, following through, and being intentional of why you're doing what you're doing and what the desired outcome is regularly. And I work with so many executives like you, Colin. When I talk about this intentionality part, it really hits a chord for people because they think I get so busy, I forget to be intentional. Just running through my day, not even contemplating why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it becomes just this endless running on a hamster wheel.
Jen, let me ask you this. That was awesome, by the way. There was, so much there to unpack. One of the things, for those who don't know who Delco is, one of the things that people could say is Jen got lucky. She had great mentors. Like she probably was bumping shoulders with Tony Robbins and Matthew McConaughey, whoever, right? But that wasn't it. You saw mentors who maybe weren't like these global superstars or billionaires. They were just people who were doing something right. I'm assuming to an extent. So I ask you to elaborate on who those mentors were and how you were able to extract from them what you needed to be your best self.
They were a little bit of both, quite honestly. Remember, I just talked about that believe you're worthy and capable. And that was a lot of development for me in my 20s, like really believing, like, why not me? And so I would put myself in positions that were very uncomfortable. My mom had a saying, learn to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I had this mindset when someone said, do you want to go to this big event? Even though I felt like I had no business being there in my younger self-talk, I say, yes, I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. That's the only way I'm going to grow. And so I would put myself in these positions and be around these people, some well known and some not known at all. But I would identify a skill set that they had. Like my one mentor, Steve Harrison, I met him at an event in California, but he's from 2 minutes from where I'm from. And I noticed he had this skill set about taking a pitch that was boring or and turning it into this most amazing, miraculous pitch in the world where you wanted whatever he was selling. And I sat with him. I intentionally found my way to sit next to him at lunch and start a conversation and say to him, that was amazing. Like that was an art. That was such an incredible skill set. I would love to hire you as my mentor to teach me how to do that. It's about identifying people that have skill sets that you want to have for yourself, being humble, not fearing rejection, and reaching out for help, asking for help. And even if they say no, learning how to observe people from afar. So you observe their habits, you observe how they handle things. And you can learn that way as well by reading books, watching videos. So you might not be able to find that person, but you can still be mentored from afar.
That's awesome. And so, Jen, I'm going to give you a chance to share with listeners where to find you, where to get connected with you. I do want you to do that before, at the end of your thought here. But if you will, just tap on this idea of being intentional. So season 2 of our podcast, this is episode 36. And so we're in season 2, and this is all about selling yourself. Like, how do I get myself to be better? I thought this idea of being intentional is a great one to tap into in order to be your best version of yourself. So maybe share a thought on that and then tell listeners where to get a hold of you and get connected with you, because I'm very sure that more people want more of what you have.
Yeah, so a big part of the notion of being your best version self is being your most vibrant self. So, quick quantum physics, your frequency is your priority. The higher your frequency is, the more people are going to be attracted to you. So, you're not selling yourself, you're magnifying people to you because you're showing up with good intentions, you're showing up happy, high energy. You don't need to be Tony Robbins to be high energy. You just need to be pleasant, smiling, approachable, attracting people into your space. And then once they're in your space, making them feel safe, making them feel comfortable, making them feel seen and heard.
Tell us how to get in touch with you. And Simon will give us a scroll down the bottom on, the particulars of how to get there.
Sure. I'm very active on social media, especially Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn as well. But more so Facebook and Instagram. I'll do videos all the time. I'll post content. So you have access to more information like this if you want to keep growing in that personal development, human behavior aspect. So I'm very active on all those fronts.
Awesome. Well, there they are down the bottom. Jen, thanks so much for spending time with us. And like I said, I'm sure others have gotten as much from this conversation as I have. I reached down to take a couple notes because I want to make sure that I collect them, which was awesome. So thank you for that. And good selling, everyone.